Hello, my name is Charmaine, and I will be talking about the reliability of the Bible. Before I start, I want to state some facts about the Bible. Number 1, it was made over 2,000 years ago. Number 2, the Bible had 40 authors in it. Number 3, the Bible was translated in 3 languages and sent over 3 continents. Number 4, there was 350 prophecies written about Jesus in the Bible. And number 5, there were 66 books with one message. By the end of this lesson, you will know what that one message will be. There is 6 E's that explains why the Bible is reliable. I will state each one and give an example of it. The first one will be early testimony. This will include any stories of Jesus that others would write down. One example is in Matthew chapter 8, verses 5 through 13. In this story, a centurion had a servant who was sick with palsy. Usually when someone caught palsy, they died a few days later. However, the centurion heard that Jesus was nearby and sought the Lord to heal the servant. Another example would be in John chapter 2, verses 1 through 11, when he turned water into wine. This was one of the first miracles that Jesus performed in public. One more example would be in Matthew chapter 9, verses 27 through 31. The story was about Jesus healing 2 blind men who came to him asking for mercy from their condition. All of these was early testimonies that people have written down that Jesus had did during that time. The next E will be eyewitness testimony. This will include characters in the book that have encountered God firsthand and not through someone else. Examples would be Peter, Mary, or the other 12 disciples. These people in the book had encountered Jesus several times. The next E will be embarrassing testimony. This will include anything that the characters may did to bring disappointment or shame towards the characters or Jesus. An example would be in Matthew chapter 16, verse 23. When Jesus said to Peter, "Get behind me, Satan. You are a stumbling block to me. You do not have in mind the concerns of God, but merely human concerns." Another example would be in Luke chapter 18, verse 34, which stated, "The disciples did not understand any of this. Its meaning was hidden from them, and they did not know what he was talking about." One more example would be in John chapter 20, verse 25. When one of the disciples didn't believe that the resurrection was real until he saw nail marks in his hand and a hole in his side. All of these examples were based off of embarrassing testimony, which could either brought shame to Jesus or the characters. The next E would be excruciating. This will include anything that is painful and death-like. An example would be Luke chapter 23, verses 44 through 46, which stated, "Now it was about the 6th hour, and there was darkness all over the earth until the 9th hour. Then the sun was darkened, and the veil of the temple was torn in two. And when Jesus had cried out with a loud voice, he said, "Father, into your hands I commit my spirit." Having said this, he breathed his last. With this being said, I don't know no one that would die for something that wasn't true and for something that wasn't right. The next E will be expectant. This will include prophecies about the future or anything that they believe will come to pass. An example would be Isaiah chapter 7 verse 14, which stated, "Therefore the Lord himself will give you a sign. The virgin will conceive and give birth to a son, and will call him Emmanuel." This verse was about them prophesying that Mary, the virgin, will conceive without having sex, and it would produce Jesus. Another example would be Malachi chapter 3 verse 1, which stated, "I will send my messenger who will prepare the way before me. Then suddenly the Lord you are seeking will come to his temple. The messenger of the covenant whom you desire will come, says the Lord Almighty." One more example would be in Jeremiah chapter 23 verse 5, which stated, "The days are coming, declares the Lord, when I will raise up for David a righteous branch, asking who will reign wisely and do what is just and right in the land." There are many other prophecies in the Bible that would later come true. The last E would be extra biblical. In the Bible, Josephus talked about God and made sure that he spreaded the gospel to the Jews and Greeks and many more. The Bible and knowing that God was his Messiah was his truth. Josephus made sure that the information he taught on was objective and not subjective. The difference between the two was that objective is not biased and that it's not based off and that it's based off of factual evidence. Subjective is biased and it's information that is based off of how the person feels. Overall, the main message of this lesson would be that Jesus is real and that this Bible is the reason why. The Bible has so many proven facts and nothing in the book is biased or subjective. People had to die for what was right, be ridiculed, and be looked at as a liar. Therefore, I don't find anything unrealistic about the Bible. And that's why the word that was shared through the Bible will always be my rock, my fortress, my shield, and my salvation. And I will not be shaken. Thank you for listening to my lesson. Have a blessed day.